Number 17, Colon Special Forces, at your service.
Deactivating active camouflage. Sorry, I wasn't able to help you at the excavation site. To be honest, I'm not sure if my functions, my skills, are at full capacity. It takes a huge amount of RK to maintain the Kuiper retroreflective active camouflage. It feels like my prosthesis and I are both slowly reaching our limits. But if the Ironheart is within our reach, I have to give it my all, even if it breaks me. The guide said that Ironheart particles are the fundamental clues we need to track it. They're kind of like footprints that the Ironheart leaves behind, wherever it goes. I've compared the location of these footprints to the recon intel. We should find more conclusive data as we continue to follow the traces. I'll send the details of the zone you'll need to cover to your receive. The remaining zones will be covered by Colon operatives.
The Vulgus munitions factory. It truly is an ominous and horrifying place.
Can you feel that?
I can experience a variety of sensations through the Archae of Descendants, including the phantom pain you feel.
That's for me to deal with, Guide. Don't poke your nose in where it's not wanted. Once I've dealt with my personal target, then I'll ask you to remove the pain.
You refer to the Vulgus you were pursuing.
Descendant, this is a bogus logistics facility where raw materials and products needed for the munitions factory are distributed. As this is where the Ironheart particles were detected, we may find a lead in their distribution records. If you can connect your receive to a terminal, I'll try hacking into the distribution records. Substantial logistical activity discovered. A large volume of construction materials have been relocated from here to a suspect zone. At the same time, secret supplies have been transported from there back to here. This is definitely suspicious. I'll send this info to Sharon.
I'm not sure why, but I'm sensing Ironheart particles in the wastewater in this zone. Can you confirm?
Oh, damn. I've taken over operation of the environmental data collector we've installed. When we retrieve it, we'll be able to check the environmental parameters without coming into contact with contaminated wastewater. Will there be enough data for you to perform an analysis, Guide? You know our equipment can't detect Ironheart traces.
Once I complete analysis of the composition of the wastewater, I should know why I can detect Ironheart particles.
Then we'd better retrieve the data quickly. It will only be available for a limited amount of time.
This wastewater is composed of Kuiper extracts and bulgus electrolytes. The Ironheart particles are most likely bound between those two substances. That's why they were detected intact and not dispersed.
If we can find the source of that wastewater, we could trace them more accurately. I have a place in mind. HQ. While investigating traces of the Ironheart, we've discovered a zone in the factory area that looks to have been recently expanded. Considering the circumstances, I think it's highly likely that there's an Ironheart inside. Requesting approval for further investigation.
Approval granted, but proceed with extreme caution. A large assault ship has been spotted in the airspace above the area. Based on the ship's class, we think it's the same one that we saw Carell aboard. Either he's there in person, or something worthy of his attention is happening. We should be prepared for a challenging situation. We may need to deploy more descendants. Over and out.
Sharon, do we have any tactical weapons that are capable of destroying the entire Vulgus industrial area? If the Ironheart is here, we may be able to investigate after destroying the enemy's facilities.
It's an interesting idea, Guide. But if it were possible, we would have already done it. Unfortunately, we don't have the capabilities to create such a powerful weapon. The anti-air gun in the Albion mountain range is probably our heaviest hitter. That's why the Descendants and the Ironheart are humanity's last hope. Closing the dimensional wall to isolate Ingress from the Colossi and the Vulgus. That would be the ultimate tactical weapon. Anyway, we don't have time to chat. Let's head to the restricted zone. Deactivating active camouflage.
Descendant, I can detect both Ironheart particles and its pulse in this zone. It keeps moving. If you and Sharon can widen the range of Arcade, I can obtain more accurate information. Please help me. Also, my system has been more inconvenienced than I expected. I believe that once it was restored, I would be able to locate the Ironhearts wherever they may be in Ingress. However, it may be that my system has yet to be completely restored. As I was created for the Ironheart, I assumed that my performance would not be this lackluster. In order to achieve my goal, our goal, my performance will need to improve.
Let's think about that later, if we make it out alive. If the Volgas have a large assault ship, they'll soon be pouring into this place. Number 17 and I will operate in stealth mode. You stay sharp.
Descendant, I have found a suitable location for detecting Ironheart pulses. This is a large nuclear reactor, which is connected to this entire zone. By comparing the reactor's pulses with the Volga's biosignals, I can detect pulses from a wide area. Deactivated the nuclear reactor. but right up until it was deactivated, I could detect Ironheart pulses. I'll attempt to trace that location.
This is believed to be a Vulgus bioengineering facility. Remember the wastewater treatment plant where we found Ironheart particles? The wastewater pipes from there connect to this facility. We can figure out what these bastards have been up to when we take a look around. Look for a Vulgus terminal to access it.
Be careful, Descendant. I've identified multiple Vulgus signals inside the facility. Expect random hostile encounters.
We're too late. All experimental data has been deleted.
Not all of it. There's a cache of records about the most recent experiments. It's not ideal, but I'll try to restore it as best I can.
In the meantime, you and I might as well follow the Ironheart path. There are Ironheart particles and faint traces of energy everywhere. Judging by these traces, the energy extracted from the Ironheart was injected into the Vulgus submerged in the Kuiper solution. The Vulgus genes and Kuiper must have fused as a result. The pain would have been terrible. Not even a Vulgus could have endured it.
That's why there were Ironheart particles in the wastewater. If it died, one of the experiment chambers is empty. Did one of them survive?
The chances of something having survived this are close to 0%, but I cannot be sure. Descendant. I have pinpointed the location where all of the Ironheart traces converge. It is hidden within the facility of the Legion of Immortality. I can detect a continuous Ironheart pulse and particles, as well as a small amount of energy from this place. And they seem to be moving. I recommend we investigate this place, Descendant. I'll need you to lend me your strength.
Sharon, I will stay behind and retrieve the cache of Vulgus experiment records. I'm sure they'll contain valuable information.
I'll enter the inner facility first. Join me when you're ready. Most of the main passageways are now either blocked or destroyed. It appears the enemy intends to destroy the entire facility. Air vents, drainage pipes, maintenance ducts. Use any available alternative means of escape that you can.
Sharon, I've restored some of the data from the Vulgus experiment records. According to these records, the facility you're in is the private laboratory of General Amon of the Legion of Immortality. As it was Ironheart traces which led us to this place, Corell and Nathan might actually be there.
It won't be an easy fight if they are.
Sharon,
Awaiting your transmission.
the traces of the Ironheart detected here. They're... never mind. I will let you know after I've performed further analysis.
Okay, Guide. They synchronized the alarms with the nuclear reactor's self-destruct switch. What the hell are they thinking? They'd rather take everyone and everything with them than give up the Ironheart. I can modify the circuitry, find the alarms and destroy them. Alarms disabled. Strange. I'm sure they wouldn't dare do something like that if Corell and Amon were actually here. For now, we need to stabilize the deactivated reactor, turn on the coolers. I'll continue tracking the Ironheart traces.
shield. Thunder.
All units transmitting critical operation details. From the restored Vulgus experiment records, I've reconstructed an audio recording that seems to have been made during the time of the experiments. Listen.
Legion will become greater through the Iron Heart. Rise, my warriors! If your lives won't stand in the vanguard, I will stand in the vanguard. The Iron Heart will initiate the victory
Cannot be. Then these Ironheart traces are...
Alzarok.
I see you found the experiment records. Seems I wasn't thorough enough with the cleanup. Yes, I found Alzarok. Lord Karel's vanguard. Born again, thanks to the Iron Heart. Lord Karel said you would come. I am to bring him your hits. I'll be waiting, Descendant.
Damn it! So the Ironheart's already gone then.
So this is why the traces felt displaced. Descendant, in order to increase the accuracy of our pursuit, we need to access all the data on Vulgus units who were transformed using the Ironheart. You must defeat Alzarok. Sharon, will you relay a detailed report of this to HQ?
Will do. I'll be on my way. Good hunting.
Very nice, indeed. Even more of our soldiers will gain new bodies through the Iron Hearts. I'll have your lifeless body join us as well.
No.
is over, Descendant. But there is so much information that is hard to accept. This Alzarok is one thing. But Karel has ordered for the Ironheart to be inverted. Whatever that means. Inversion. What could that be?
Do you truly plan on inverting the Ironheart data? If you do that, we won't be able to decipher the unidentified guide code.
Enough! The Ironheart data must be inverted in order to destroy the dimensional wall. I don't have time to think about that! You understand my vision now, don't you?
Oh, of course. I am only thinking of our research.
I'm glad to hear that our objectives are aligned. Initiate the data inversion. Cliff will engulf Increase. The roars of the Vulgus will fill this land with fear!
Descendant, I have the results of the operation from Sharon. Alpha is tied up with an emergency meeting with the Magisters. I have been ordered to brief you on the follow-up operation. Please make your way to HQ. Were the commander's explanations confusing again? Excellent work, Descendant. This operation has yielded many results, both positive and negative. Firstly, all of HQ is encouraged by the possibilities presented by the guide. Although we were unsuccessful in our retrieval of the Ironheart, thanks to the guide's tracking function, we uncovered the Vulgus Restricted Zone and Alzarok. This proves the guide's tracking system exists and is operational. However, the ingenuity that the Vulgus demonstrated with their use of the Ironheart was alarming. So much so that the Magisters requested an emergency meeting with Alpha. In particular, the inversion of the Ironheart ordered by Corral is something we must understand, no matter the cost. From this point forward, HQ plans to adopt the guide's tracking functionality and the various other information sources they offer as official operational elements. The Descendants will soon be deployed throughout Ingress. Use the guide to track the Ironheart and proceed with the mission to investigate the inversion procedure. Humanity's full-scale counterattack has officially begun. However, I know you have just completed a difficult mission. Until the official deployment order is given, please go ahead with whatever preparations you need to make. The Magisters have promised their full commitment to support research efforts, so this is the perfect opportunity to request anything you need from an ace. Before you go, Descendant, I have a personal request. Can you retrieve the Alzarok autopsy report from Jeremy? The report was intended for delivery to the Magisters. Jeremy requested a brief look at it, and I haven't heard from him since. I understand things are strained between you and Jeremy due to the recent operation, but I hope you'll do this anyway. Descendant, just in case, I hope you're not disappointed that Jeremy wasn't punished. I actually saw Alpha slap Jeremy earlier. No one enjoys seeing their superior do something like that, but I believe it was a more appropriate punishment than a court-martial. I'm sure that Jeremy has also learned his lesson.